Aaron.
Yeah.
Why didn't you say it the first time I said Aaron?
Because it's pronounced Aaron.
You done messed up, Aaron.
Aaron is here. Welcome back, everybody, for more SPTV, where every day is a great day not to be in a cult. OMG. I can't even believe the latest update in the trumped up case, the trumped up charge against me. And I would say from Scientology. But, you know, it is the state of Florida that is trying to prosecute this case against me for misdemeanor battery against a Scientology Sea Org member during one of our weekly protests in downtown Clearwater that we've been doing every single week for what seems like close to 2 years now. Erica or Dusty, if you're in the chat, let me know, or anyone else who actually knows. How long has it been that we've been doing our weekly protests in downtown Clearwater? Well, guys, a couple months ago or so, about 2.5 months ago, certain things came to a head, and a certain Sea Org member got a certain unspecified amount of children's running color fun run chalk powder on him accidentally through a series of circumstances. And I was arrested and charged with misdemeanor battery. Okay, that was 2.5 months ago. I've already pled not guilty, prepared to go to trial on this thing. Can't wait to get this in front of a jury. And so this was like, what, July 29th, July 28th, July 29th, something like that. And I just found out that this past week on Wednesday, the state of Florida filed a request with the judge seeking a protection order against me to keep me away from the Sea Org member who claims to have been harmed by getting this children's fun run powder on his back. Now, here's the thing. Even though the Sea Org member's name is John Gaffney, which I only know because of the paperwork that's been filed with the court. I think it's John Gaffney. I'll have to double check that in a second. I got no idea who he is. I don't know what he looks like. I don't know where to find him. I don't know how to contact him. I've never attempted to contact him. I've never sought him out. I've never spoken to him. I don't even know who the guy is. And you're like, how is this possible? I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you for anyone newcomers here. I'm going to show you the request for the protection order. But I'm also going to show you the event that occurred that led to this, these proceedings. And I'm going to show you some of the footage of this past Friday. The protest that we had was actually the largest ever protest that we've had, except for the 2 special events where we schedule it months in advance and people fly in from all over the world and stuff like that. But we had 31 people peacefully protesting with us outside Flag's Superpower Building, 215 South Fort Harrison Avenue, every Friday, 5:30 p.m. Everyone's free to come and join us. And not only was it the largest regular protest we've ever had, but it's a perfect example of how even when the protest is the biggest ever, it is fun and peaceful and inviting, and no one's being threatened, intimidated, harassed. There's no damage. There's no vandalism, no weirdness whatsoever. And I love sharing this stuff with you guys. So real quick, let me begin by showing you the series of events that led to the charges. Okay. Let's see. What's the best way to do this? This is the best way. And here it is. So I actually put this video together. This is a compilation video of about a month's worth of protest footage. And I put this together shortly after I got arrested to show the rank hypocrisy from the Clearwater Police Department here. So it's a compilation showing Scientology initiating interactions and conflicts with the protesters over and over and over and over and over again, throwing hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of gallons of water at us. In my opinion, this is battery, pure and simple. Okay. Now, if you're Scientology and you have protesters out there peacefully, legally protesting on public property, okay, you would think that the best thing to do would be leave them alone, leave them alone, leave them alone. When they're gone, clean up the chalk on the sidewalk. Instead, what Scientology did was initiate conflicts, come out to us, initiate contact with us, pour water on us over and over and over again. Police never did a damn thing about any of that. And then one Sea Org member gets some chalk powder on him one time. I'm arrested. I'm facing charges. I'm going to trial. I'm, states seeking a protection order against me. All right, so let's take a look at this. Here we go. I think I got sound playing on this.
Check it out, guys. Check it out. You guys are throwing water towards all of our property. You guys are throwing water right towards our property.
I'm sorry to be the guy who stops the video 2 seconds after I start it. I want to clarify. When I say our property, our property, our property, I'm not talking about the sidewalk. I am not claiming that we own any of the property that we're standing on. I'm talking about our bags, our chairs, our signs, our boxes, our shoes, just to be clear, because I know a lot of people get really annoyed when it seems like I'm claiming the protesters somehow own the public property, but that's not what I'm saying. All right, let's keep going.
Here we go. You guys are illegally throwing water towards protesters. What you're doing is illegal, and we're going to call the police. Squeegee time. Go ahead, do it again. On public property.
Look at that's a giant trash hauling container full of water. That's hundreds of gallons of water right there.
Oh, here they're coming.
Now, look, for anyone watching this that's not already familiar with this, do you see the strong, solid line between where the blue ends, where the blue is and where the blue ends? That is the property line. Everything that you see there in blue is public sidewalk. So what Scientology is doing is they are standing at the top of those stairs. And look, that is six, maybe 7 Sea Org members up there. Okay. And from the perch of their stairs, which is their property, they are dumping hundreds of gallons of water towards us for no other reason than to get it on us. Okay. Because I'm sorry. I can't help but explain this stuff. I am not claiming that it is illegal for Scientology to throw water down their own stairs. They can throw water down their stairs to their heart's content. What's happening here, though, is that they are only doing that to intentionally throw water at what we are doing. They are only doing it to make that water make contact with what we are creating on public property. Now, in addition to our creation, our artistic creation that is on public property, the other thing that is on the public property is us, our persons, our feet, our belongings, our shoes. You can walk up to someone on public property. You cannot walk up to someone and throw water on them on public property. So when I say you're illegally, that's what I'm referring to. Let's keep going.
Ruining our protest art. Ruining our art.
Oh, how you doing, buddy? How you doing, buddy? That's actually really hot water, by the way. Here we go again.
Now, look, I'm outnumbered here. I'm outnumbered in almost every one of these cases. And I want you to note instances where they throw the water, even though I am in the way of the water. Now, there's some instances where they're throwing the water away from me and I kind of run up to the water. But there's other instances where they throw the water, even though I am already directly in the way. That is battery. The police never gave a damn.
And round 2, baby. So good. We can play this game. Here, wash it off. Wash it off. Here, help me out, guys. Here we go.
He literally just threw that water right on me. And I'm sorry to keep stopping it, guys, but it's what I do.
We can play this game. Here, wash it off. Wash it off. Here, help me out, guys. Here we go again. Here we go. Get out of here, buddy.
Now they can't claim they're afraid of me, right? I'm outnumbered. I'm outnumbered. I'm afraid for my life out here, guys. I'm fighting for my life.
Get him on camera. Let's see what you got. There we go. So they walked over their property line and dumped the water on our art.
Oh, we got another one.
Here we go. Let's see what they do.
Look, guys, I'm outnumbered. It's 3-on-1. Okay, fine. Jamie's with me. It's 3-on-2.
This is public property, and you just came out and interfered with our constitutionally protected speech on public property. Don't touch me. Don't touch me. Don't touch me. You see him? Here we go.
Guys, look at this. How many people up there? Is that 5? Is it 6? Because this is the incident. What you're about to witness is the incident that I get arrested for.
Bring it.
Guys,
bring it.
Look at the hundreds of gallons of water they literally just threw at me directly. I'm directly in the way. They throw it anyway. And this is what I'm being arrested for and charged.
Bring it. Bring it. Here you go.
Boom. That's what I'm arrested for right there. Boom.
Cornstarch blowing in the wind. No physical contact directly made. you are saying is a felony battery.
Okay, guys, I'm going to kill the live stream, going to jail. Hopefully I get bonded out. I hope the security guard survives.
Okay. Okay, now let me see if I can pull up the one part I want to show you. So, how many Sea Org members is that? I think that's only 3 there at that time.
There you go.
Oh no, it's 4. It's 4 because John's in front of me. Who I now know is John. Okay, so now watch. This is a guy who is now claiming he's in fear for his safety when he sees me outside the flag building. Look. Oh, damn it. You know what? I knew I cut it off too early. I wish I had a different version of the clip that showed the rest of it, because after he comes within arm's reach of me, and then I admittedly, I didn't mean to do exactly what happened there. The bag broke as I shook it, and it did not do what I was expecting it was going to do. He then walked up the stairs, realized he still had some water left in his bucket, turned back around, walked back down the stairs into the chalk, the powder cloud. It's not actually chalk. It's like cornstarch. Walked back down towards me again so that he could throw the rest of his water. That's what I'm facing. That's what I'm facing a charge for. Okay. Let's jump right to the order protection and look at, here's why I'm so pissed off. I cannot believe the state attorney's office would willfully and knowingly misrepresent the facts in order to try to get a protection order against me. Guys, maybe I'm so naive. I can't quite explain how this pisses me off so much. The state attorney's office knows full well that we have been protesting peacefully out there every week for about a year before this incident happened, and that we've been out there every single week for the last 2.5 months since this incident happened, and that the only time any of us are there is for a constitutionally protected, lawful, peaceful protest on public property outside the Scientology building. None of us know who John Gaffney is. None of us even know what the hell he looks like. None of us are there for him. None of us there are looking for him. We're not there to troll him. We're not there to harass him. Nothing. The state attorney, the attorneys in the state attorney's office already know this. It'd be one thing if this request for a protection order was put in like the week, within a week of me being arrested. This protection order was put in last week. It's been over 2 months since the incident occurred. Okay, so let me share it with you. Okay, here it is. State of Florida versus Aaron Smith Levin. State's motion for a no contact order. Bruce Bartlett, state attorney for the 6th Judicial Circuit of Florida, files this state's motion for no contact order as grounds therefore would state. On July 29, defendant was arrested for battery. On July 30th, defendant posted a $1,000 bond. 3, the defendant has repeatedly been present at the victims, John Gaffney, at the victims, John Gaffney, at the Church of Scientology, where the victim is employed as a security guard. All right, we'll read it all the way through and then I'll give you my comments. On August 3rd, the victim saw the defendant at the church. 5, the victim is in fear of the defendant and is requesting a no contact order be placed by the court for his protection. Wherefore, the state of Florida moves this honorable court to grant the state's motion by imposing a no contact order with the victim in this case. Guys, that's it. I mean, it's very short and sweet. But here's the thing. I haven't had any contact with John Gaffney since this incident. None. John Gaffney's never come out. That's the only way I or anyone would ever have any contact with John Gaffney would be if while we were protesting on public property, John Gaffney chose to come out of the building and approach us for some reason. Not only would that be John Gaffney's decision and John Gaffney's fault, it has never occurred. So I'm totally confused as to what the purpose of this thing even is. Also, I feel like the request is intentionally vague. For example, you can't just say was present at the Church of Scientology. The Church of Scientology flag land base is composed of like 30 to 40 different buildings spread all over miles and miles of the city of Clearwater. They don't even specify that it's the Church of Scientology at 215, the Church of Scientology building at 215 South Fort Harrison Avenue, right? And it just says no contact. I thought for sure when I first heard that this request existed, that they were going to try to keep me from being allowed to come within a certain number of feet of Scientology's flag building, 215 South Fort Harrison Avenue. And when I thought that's what it said, I was like, who gives a damn? If I can't go to the Superpower building, we'll move the protest to a different location that's even worse for Scientology. That's even more annoying for Scientology. And so honestly, I'm a little confused. And, George, if you see any comments from people who are kind of expert in this and they have some insight into this, please star them and I'll bring this up. First of all, if you are in fear of someone protesting, perhaps you shouldn't be a security guard. That's just one thought. Like, that's just absolutely absurd. The other thing, John Gaffney is a security guard at the Flag Land Base. There are probably approximately 50 different security guards at the Flag Land Base. To we protesters, they all look exactly the same. We have no idea who they are. They cover their faces. They're all relatively, average sized, slender white men. I guess some of them seem to be from other countries, but they cover their faces. So what's my point here? We don't even know where John Gaffney works, is my point. 4 or 5 security guards came out at once in that incident where John Gaffney came out. We don't know where those security guards work. All we know is that that group of security guards chose to come out of the building and confront peaceful, lawful protesters. We don't even know if those security guards work in that building. Do you know what I mean? Security guards can work all over the base. And how are we supposed to know one way or the other? So even me going to the Superpower building, or they call it the Flag building as well, there's no way for me to know that that's a building where John Gaffney is working. For literally any Scientology building is a building where John Gaffney, who I cannot state this clearly enough, I have no idea what John Gaffney even looks like. Okay. There's no way for me to know in any Scientology building whether John Gaffney is present. Okay. You guys get the point here. Okay. So he goes, also, it's just dishonest for them not to make it clear that the only reason I would ever be present at the place where John Gaffney works is because I do a protest outside the Church of Scientology every week. But to a judge, if they were to look at this, and don't get me wrong, this has not been granted. This will not be granted without a hearing. And all the information I'm sharing with you will be shared with the judge at a hearing. To a judge, it would just sound like the guy who battered this guy, for some reason, is showing up at his place of employment, which of course sounds creepy and stalkerish and threatening and intimidating. And yet, that's not what has happened at all. Total misrepresentation. This is the kind of bullshit I would expect from Scientology. It is not the kind of bullshit that I would expect from the state attorney's office. And that is why I'm absolutely livid. Okay, let's see. Okay, that being said, let me show you, because I take a lot of honor and pride in how these weekly protests have been turning out, you guys. Let me just show you some fun little snippets of what a 30-plus person, peaceful, lawful protest looks like in downtown Clearwater, outside the largest Scientology building in the world, on the largest Scientology base in the world. Share this tab. I think we're full screen. Let's take a look. This is some of the fun that we had, guys. I'm not going to play sound on this. Okay, so this is setting up. We've got Joe, Danny, and Jenna. Let's see. I'm just gonna scroll through some of this stuff. We have Ellie. We have Ellie and Cheryl putting on some really fun Xenu costumes. We have Dusty. Let's see, guys. That's Ellie. That's Ellie wearing her fun little alien costume. There's Mindy. You can see Dusty. I think he's eating some pizza. There's Francisco. Yeah, we had a bunch of new people. There's Tom Cruise, guys. No Scientology protest is complete without Tom Cruise helping us out. There's Sandy. There's Mindy. Cheryl switched out of her Xenu costume to dress up as a cute little unicorn. We got unicorns out there protesting with us, you guys. Honk if Scientology is a cult. Guys, look, we have a whole bunch of books written by ex-Scientologists and some journalists, and we like to put those books down on the property line. Now this line right here, the books were put down crooked. So I actually go through. This is how responsible we are as protesters. Okay. I go through and I fix all of the books so that they're actually on the proper property line. You see what those books are? Everything to the left of those books is public property. Everything to the right of those books is private property. We like to keep it honest. There's our Costco pizza. Our weekly protest is sponsored by Kirkland, Costco Pizza, and sparkling water, you guys. Costco, hit me up for a real sponsorship. Okay. I busted out the spray chalk for some wonderful artistic expression, wanting everyone to know that Scientology is, in fact, a family-destroying human trafficking cult. Thank you to everyone who sends me spray chalk supplies off of my Amazon wish list. Greatly appreciated. Look at that, guys. Look at that work of art. Absolutely incredible. And towards the end of the protest, someone else added some really beautiful chalk underneath it. Let's see. The Clearwater PD showing up to support our protest. Thank you, Clearwater PD. You're the best. There's Marco. And we go behind the Fort Harrison to have some conversations with Scientologists to see if they will help us get Flavio Lugli to call his parents, Claudio and Renato Lugli in Italy. Just some more helpful Scientologists that we're speaking with. And let's see. There's Mateo, our favorite security guard. He likes to come out there and chaperone us during our peaceful protest. We like to continue to encourage him to leave Scientology and offer him help from the SPTV Foundation. Mateo, be strong, buddy. I know one of these days you'll make it out of there, and we'll be there to help you. Okay, so check it out. Oh, yeah, Brooks Gibbs, the one and only Brooks Gibbs. Amazing community activist Brooks Gibbs showed up with his wife, Jill. And so we promoted his initiative as well. He's trying to keep Scientology from taking over more of downtown Clearwater, and he's doing a fantastic job. And let's see, there's Brooks standing right outside the Superpower building with his sign, "Stop Scientology from taking our streets." God, it's amazing. All these peaceful protesters and no drama. There's Clearwater George. And I showed there's Sarasota Jerry. Jerry drives up every week to join us. We've got Isabella. There's Isabella. She's been coming out more often. There's Erica. And there's Jen Kessler. Where's Jen? Jen's the one talking to Erica there. Boom. There's Jen. And yes, that's Ellie's husband. But damn it, I forget Ellie's husband's name. Sorry, Ellie's husband. Oh, that's Ted's son. I'm sorry, Ted's son. I'm forgetting your name at the moment. Do you guys remember Ted Reinhardt from Cult City Tours? This is Ted's son, looking about 6 feet taller than the last time I saw him 4 years ago. He had a blast out there with us. He's going to be joining us more as well. There's Jill. There's Brooks. And let's see. I really wanted to show. There's Ellie. Okay. Yeah. Guys, we had 31 people out there. Okay. And then at some point, I gave Jenna the phone while I went to go get the car. There's Marco talking with a Scientologist very peacefully and respectfully. Okay. There was one more awesome piece of artwork that, there it is. Look at it. Look at that. Look, it says, "Let Flavio call home." Who did that? That had to be Erica, right? That had to be Erica. It was either Erica or Cheryl. If you guys are in the chat, let me know. Cheryl, who did that? Who did that awesome pink and blue "Let Flavio call home"? Absolutely incredible. Erica did it. Okay, it was Erica. Look at that, you guys. Look, I know I need to get the T a little closer to the L. It was the first time I ever tried doing the letters that big, and I messed up the spacing a little bit, but I will get better. So there you go. I mean, we show over and over and over again every single week that we are out there to peacefully protest. No one can can argue, no one can make a serious argument that a Scientology security guard, a Sea Org member, someone who's supposed to have the ability to confront and handle anything and to communicate with anyone about any subject, and is supposed to be OT, supposed to be one of this sector of the Galactic Confederacy's biggest, strongest operating thetans, fears for his safety when big, scary Aaron Smith-Levin is out there peacefully protesting with a bunch of other folks. And yet that is what they are claiming. That is what the state attorney is representing to the judge. And we are not going to let this stand. Okay, so as far as the misdemeanor case, there's a hearing scheduled tomorrow morning. It's not really. There's a hearing scheduled tomorrow morning at 8:30. That's supposed to be my arraignment where you plead guilty or not guilty. But my lawyer already pled not guilty like 6 weeks ago. So this is just like something that's still on the schedule. My lawyer, I thought that for some reason I was being arraigned again and was supposed to show up to court tomorrow. But my lawyer called me today. He's like, no, you're not supposed to be there. I'm like, but I got like 6 notices telling me to be there. And he's like, no. We already did it. You don't have to be there. I'm like, I want to make sure we're clear about this because I was planning on being there. And he goes, well, if you want to come, you're more than welcome to come, but you do not have to be there. We have already pled. It's not a thing. I'm like, if you say so. Okay. And then I asked him, I'm like, but look, they asked for this protection order. Is this something that would be taken up at tomorrow's hearing? He goes, no. They have only filed a request for a protection order. The judge has to put a hearing on the calendar for their request. That is not happening tomorrow morning. I said, oh, bummer, because I kind of wanted it to. I did also see the witness list. The state has already submitted a witness list to the court, and I didn't bother pulling it up. But basically, the witness list is composed of John Gaffney, the Sea Org member, and 4 Clearwater police officers. Now, guys, I didn't know what some of the words or some of the letters next to the witnesses' names meant. And so I looked it up on Grok, and some of the names were like VIR, VRO, WIR. To the best of my ability to understand, here's what it looks like the witness list says. And I could be wrong. 3 of the police officers are intending to testify against me. 1 of the police officers is intending to testify in my favor. If I understand what these letters mean, and I could be totally wrong. Also, it looks like they have already informed the court that John Gaffney will not be appearing in person. He will be remote. He will be appearing remotely, probably because he's still pretending to be afraid in fear for his safety. I mean, if Scientology is going to abuse the legal system like this, I at least want to use it as an opportunity to show all Scientologists and under the radar Scientologists, this is what your cult is doing. Can you imagine a Sea Org member having to demean and lower themselves and lie to the court, pretending that they're in fear for their safety just because an ex-Scientologist happens to be standing outside on the public sidewalk 200 feet from the building where you allegedly work? Like, it's absolute madness. I think it's also interesting, and this is what I can't wait to bring up at the hearing. It is also interesting that it does seem to very specifically be just an effort to prevent someone from being able to protest, because they can't actually show any evidence whatsoever that I even know who this guy is. So they certainly can't show any evidence that somehow I'm after him or out to get him or following him or threatening him or endangering him. They can't do that at all. And they've neglected to point out, well, it is true that the only reason he ever even comes within the vicinity of the building is because he's protesting. So they really are trying to weaponize the law to prevent someone from peacefully protesting against Scientology. And shame on the state attorney's office for having anything to do with this. Okay, let's look at some starred comments and we'll wrap this up. Brian Lucas says, it sounds like some colluding is going on here. Witchy SP says, if this goes through, they will have the dude follow Aaron around Clearwater. Thank you for mentioning that. I forgot to mention that. If they were able to get a protection order, it is obviously only so that they can then file charges against me for violating the protection order. And how can they issue a protection order without it being tied to an address? Like how can you even make that request? They didn't even put an address. You can't just say the Church of Scientology. Are we talking about Clearwater? Are we talking about Tampa? I mean, anyway, none of it makes sense to me. Okay, Northern Girl. I get so mad when I hear about these frivolous cases and how the city is playing along. I hope your lawyer can stop it. To be clear, it's technically not the city that's playing along. It is the state attorney's office. I just want to be specific about that. Val W. This feels a bit David and Goliath. Very worrying if the state is willing to be involved. That's my concern as well. Constance June. The worst was when they threw the water out of the Fort Harrison directly on the feet of the people walking by. Yes, exactly. SP Danny. Good to see you, Danny. Splash, splash. Okay, I'm not singing a song. All right, Northern Girl. I can't believe the DA is going through with these bogus charges. I know, I can't either. George Massey, didn't the dude claiming to be suffering respiratory distress while he continued to wear a face mask on the gurney? Yes, that was literally the funniest thing. So once the SEERG member, so the SEERG member walks down the stairs, gets within arm's reach of me, gets the chalk on him. By the way, if you actually watch the video, his back is turned to me while the chalk is getting on him. Okay. And then he's wearing a face mask. He's already wearing a COVID face mask. He turns around, walks back down the stairs, and then walks back up the stairs, still wearing a face mask the entire time. Oh, I had a great photo I was going to share with you guys. I forgot in my video prep. I've been collecting photographs of children and adults doing the fun run chalk colored runs, the colored runs where while you're running, they blast you in the face with this fun run chalk powder. I've been collecting photographs of children and adults in the middle of runs getting blasted in the face with this powder. Okay, so you have the SEERG member. He realizes once he gets back into the building, actually the Office of Special Affairs probably was like, stay where you are. This is what we've been dreaming for. Okay, quick, call the police, call the ambulance, pretend you're in respiratory distress. The guy claims he's in respiratory distress because he walked through a cloud of chalk powder, but it's not chalk. It's cornstarch fun run powder with a mask on. Okay. He then, the EMT people go into the building, strap his ass to a gurney and roll him out of the building while he's in the gurney, still wearing the mask. If you were actually experiencing respiratory distress, you would not still be wearing a mask that is blocking, inhibiting airflow into your airway. It was the craziest thing ever. I mean, we even sat there and spoke to the police about it because we never thought anyone was going to get arrested. We never thought I was going to get arrested. Okay. So the police are there and they're like, oh, Aaron, we're like, what's going on with the ambulance? Like, oh, he's claiming he's in respiratory distress. And I'm like, okay, you see that he's still wearing the mask, right? And they're like, yeah, we see. Right. So this is how my mind was working at the time, is like, if the police can see that he's bullshitting, then nothing's going to happen here. Right. Here's the other thing that happened. When the police showed up, the police originally came to me and said, we are going to write this up as a mutual battery. No one's going to get arrested. Them throwing water on you was battery. You throwing the chalk powder at him is battery. We're just going to write it up as mutual battery. We'll send it to the state attorney's office. They can do whatever they wanted to do, whatever they choose to do. Then what happened is Scientology called the police into the building and they showed them the very, very, very one little specific incident of John throwing his bucket of water. And they said, John threw his water that direction, and then Aaron walked into the water. But that wasn't the only incident of battery that occurred that day. They throwed water on us over and over and over and over again. And it wasn't until the final water pouring of the night that the incident with John Gaffney occurred. So the truth is, this should still be a mutual battery issue. So I think I'm actually going, because I think what happened is when he said, I'm going to write this up as a mutual battery, I think what happened is the officer then didn't write it up as a mutual battery. And that's why I'm the only one who got arrested. I'm going to go back downtown and I'm going to file a fresh, because I guess technically I've never filed a battery complaint for the incident that night. I am going to go back downtown and I'm going to file a fresh battery complaint, not only against John Gaffney, but against every one of those unnamed Sea Org members and the Church of Scientology who sent them out. And then we'll see how that gets addressed. I've got my ideas of how it's going to go, but it's worth checking it out. Okay, Super Weekend Warriors. The protective order request shouldn't even get to the point of a hearing. There is no pattern of repeating harassing conduct or an act of violence that would justify a protective order. So I agree with you, but I don't know how this process works. There's no way for the judge to know what you have just said. Now, you could say, yeah, but the complaint doesn't even present evidence of what you've just said. Like, is that actually what your point is? Is your point is that the request itself is so lacking of information and evidence that it would get dismissed out of hand? Because again, I just have no idea how the process works. Linda, he had his back to you and he had a mask on. Come on. It's always something. Did they ask for your videos yet? When they brought me into the police station, they asked me for all my videos then. Northern Girl, Aaron, please tell us that your lawyer has a plan. Well, when you say a plan, like a plan for what? Like there's a plan. I mean, the plan is we've pled not guilty. The plan is the judge is supposed to, in response to this request for a protection order, schedule it for a hearing. And then the plan would be to show up and call bullshit on the request. Sounds like a good plan to me. Pat O, what days did this happen? Because isn't Pinellas County under a water schedule? It's a good question. I'm sure they violated some sort of a water issue, but I also don't think anybody cares about that. Gaslit says, in Florida, it is illegal to spray someone with water intentionally, and it can result in a criminal battery charge. Under Florida statute 784.03, battery is defined as an intentional and unwanted. Yes, I know how that finishes, but yes, you are correct. You are correct. Crypto Holmes 777, employed as a security guard, get discovery to find out how much he is paid. Did it actually say he's employed as a security guard? That's an amazing misrepresentation of the facts. He's actually a religious volunteer. You're right. It says he is employed as a security guard. Very good catch. That's awesome. Okay. Super Weekend Warriors. It's also very odd that the state is submitting the order and not the victim. I agree. Definite Trouble Source. Hey, Erica. We were there first January 2024. Okay. Yeah. So it really has been almost 2 years. And his debut was that very night. So he is stalking you. That's right. I mean, I should go get a restraining order against John Gaffney. Rochelle, obviously the purpose is to legally stop you from coming to flag. Yes. Yep. SA, it sounds like the protection order application is intentionally misleading to manipulate the judge into thinking you're intentionally and persistently harassing one person. It can be disproven so easily. First Amendment. And that's what I'm saying. It's why I would expect this request to have come from Scientology. I don't know how to explain the request coming from the state attorney's office. Eyes on the state. I hate to say this, but I'm betting that they get this granted. The judge you have is not a fair judge from what I hear. I mean, I don't even know how it would be possible, right? Like, I don't know. I guess we'll see. JSJ297. I know their short game, which is already established with the battery. I don't know the middle game, but I do know the end game. They want you to catch a felony off the protection order along with a targeted hate crime. Yeah, I think that sounds about right. Gail Quantock. I think when you started asking about Flavio might be annoying them. It's getting the Scientology people thinking maybe. That's what has changed, in my opinion. That's actually quite possible. Okay, it's always something says, when you threw the powder, he had already basically turned around. Yeah, exactly. Eyes on the state. Depose them on camera. It's always something says, the mask that doesn't have any blue on it. Exactly. His breathing mask doesn't have any blue powder on it. I mean, it really is. I mean, this is one of the reasons why my lawyer said, I would absolutely love to get this in front of a jury. And the truth is, I would as well. I would also love not to have to go to trial. Not that I'm going to accept anything, any sort of a plea deal, but I would have liked for the state attorney's office to be like, this is a ridiculous waste of our time. And we've seen all the times that your Scientology members have battered the protesters and nothing has been done about it. So in the sake of equity and fairness, we're throwing this case out. Thank you very much. Try again next time. Anyway, but this is where we at, guys. That's what's going on. All right, let's see. You know what? I had so much more I was going to try to squeeze in today, but it's late and it's Sunday. And that's it for me today. Thank you guys for hanging out with me, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Okay, if you want to see my rock and roll songs, click right on this guitar. And if you want to see a different one of my videos, then you could click right inside here. If you have subscribed or not, subscribe right here. Bye.